I think it's time to start doing something. I think we've got enough squared off shoreline at this point in time that it's time to start reaching out and touching another island. Hello everybody, this is Frogman. Welcome back to Captain of Industry. Yeah, I think we're gonna start working on that little project. We do need to get over to this island, and mainly because of the fact there is a large pile of coal over here. Well, I believe there's a large pile of coal over here. It's a decent amount of coal. There's a lot of oil right here. There's a reasonable amount of iron. There's a whole bunch of limestone. We have a little bit of water, a little bit of copper, and some titanium. I think this is one of the larger spots for titanium ore, at least for the area. Yeah, and I'm not really certain how much titanium we're going to need, care for in the end of the be-all things, but I think it is probably time to start figuring out how we're going to do this. Now, that is going to cause an issue with this particular cargo ship. I will have to retrain it once it decides to do things. One of the things that ships are going to care for, and it's something that I found out kind of the hard way, which caused me to have to reset a couple of things a long time ago. This is a long time ago, back when this was like down in here somewhere, and we had all of our water just kind of sitting over here. And I do need to finish working on this concrete, but I was trying to repair when you have an issue where your cargo dock or your trading dock or your shipyard can no longer say, you can get out of there for Pete's sake, can no longer see their way out. You can then kind of fix things, and what it will do is it will try to remove what it'll do is it'll search around for a different direction. So like this one, it can get in and out this direction. This one is getting in and out that direction. This one is getting in and out, not this one. This one is getting in and out this direction. Now, theoretically, it's going to get mad at us eventually once this whole line is built across here. And when it does, we will have to recorrect that. Now, that should also, it should theoretically, when we do that, then it'll try to look for a different direction out, which means it should be able to look for the direction that these guys are looking out, this direction, the same way that this one is looking out, because this one is leaving this direction as well. I do believe we're probably eventually going to try to build maybe some more ships along this area, maybe not, I don't know. It just depends on how I want to do things. I am going to continue to dig this direction. It's really not that far through that mountain once we get over here, so we may end up trying to build some more ships out here. Just all depends. I mean, for right now, I'm not really concerned about it, but I do want to have access to this lovely iron, this beautiful oil, and that coal. And maybe that limestone. I don't know. It all depends. We're kind of getting a little short on limestone in this mountain, although I still haven't managed to eat up half of it because I'm not using it for anything other than concrete and the various other little recipes that we have. We do have limestone available in a hill over here with a rail line by it. The other thing I was actually looking at here, well, I was concerned what we were going to do when this iron went away. I am going to probably just build an iron stop right here, because I tested it. For one, a truck can drive under this. So the large hauler trucks can drive under that, which means all I would have to do is get the, get the what do we call them? The excavators over there, which means we'll be building a crossing right here. Either way, it doesn't really matter. But the thing is, and just looking at the numbers and the math here, this is ground level, whatever this is. This is 4. Here, this is where the entirety of the island is kind of trying to be built on out here. We're at level 4 out there, and then we come up to level, whatever this is, 30, and then go back down to level 4 out here. I know it's kind of a quick sidetrack here very quickly, but if you look out here as the way this is going, at level 4, there's not a whole lot of iron buried in the ground out here, so I think we might just go ahead and build a mining facility, or maybe I build it right here. Somehow figure out a way to make a stop off in here. We have fuel ready to go, so all I really have to do is just get one of these either right here with the storage and a train line that will just kind of cut off and go that way, I suppose, or we build it over here and do the same thing. But yeah, we've got plenty of surface area out here. Theoretically, I could even run a couple of more things around here. It's not double lined through here, which is a bad thing. We may have to rebuild all of this, but I'm not really worried about it because right now we're doing fine, at least I think. You guys are tearing up what's left of the ramp. There is a little bit of iron left in this hill over here that I'm having them mine, and then they'll be able to go ahead and dig some of this up. There's a bunch of iron still in this mountain and in this mountain and kind of in this wall. We've got a while. I mean, I do have a nice long while. I hope. We'll see. We'll see how this all goes, because again, like I say, what's going to happen after this, I think, is we're going to take this wall that is a nice angled wall right here and run it that direction for a really long time, maybe. Just depends, because I do need to fill in the ocean to get in here. And I am finding there is some sand and some titanium. I mean, this is rough. I mean, they really built this to try to aggravate the people like me that like to get all the last little bit of the resources out of here. There is a small layer of sand somewhere out on top of this because there is a small beach right here. That beach is probably going to come clear the heck over here. But that titanium resource is not a whole lot very deep, but it is massive, apparently. That thing must at least come all the way over through and around to here, because we're starting to find it in this pile now, and I thought I told you two to go to work. Hang on a second. I had plans for you. You were supposed to go in that area. Right. You need to go into iron and pause on pause. Can you go to work? Can you go to work? Thank you. You iron. Go to work. Okay. We're hitting that point where this is processing a considerable amount of rock, so I've been running a lot of dump trucks, haul trucks, to try to get a few things in a few places. One of the other things I did notice, and I know I've been kind of screwing this up for a while, is I've been assigning trucks to storages, and that's not something you really want to kind of do when you have a logistical area built. So like this is a logistical area that is able to work. So like that little kind of goofy looking whatever direction is, anything that's in here is available to pick up and haul things. So if this happens to be full and I happen to have a haul truck that's ready to be, used, it will then go ahead and do it regardless of whether it is assigned to the tub or not, assigned to the loose storage or not. So that's definitely helped speed up the process, because now I have 4 haul trucks assigned to an area in here that can just work both of those two things to haul them down here to fill in this ocean, or at least help to fill in this ocean. But I think, are you guys finding any iron at all? Is it onesies and twosies? Are we done with that hillside? I mean, I don't I don't mind moving rock as long as we have the long as we have the place to dump it. And again, I think we're going to try to at least get almost all the way out to that island. I don't know how we're going to deal with this. I know it's going to be a little talky-talky here for just a little bit, because I'm trying to figure out how we want to do things. But yeah, it's the way it's going to go. So I'm just kind of paying attention to this one. And then when it decides it wants to do something dumb, or we have to do something dumb, then yes, we will start moving down here. And then I am concerned because these two right here are going to share a little bit of the same area for a little while, which means we may have to have double ore processing plants or something like that so that they'll be able to talk with each other. It will end up causing a problem eventually, is my point. That's going to be the issue that will end up happening eventually. Have you guys hit the bottom of that hole yet? No. Wow, I really need to just, I guess, tell them to keep digging. Cool. How about while we're here, I'm just going to have you guys dig. I finally got tired of digging into this mountain because there was so much stone in it, it wasn't getting us anywhere. So, and of course, it does the thing I don't want it to do, which is that. Go ahead and dig that for right now. That should keep us busy. We're doing a little bit of just back and forth looking at things. Coal looks all right. I might have them kind of dig this direction just for the giggles of it. How about you do that? And dig that direction just for the giggles of it. Trying to maintain a reasonable amount of no stone in this kind of stuff, because it does get a little bit painful to try to haul things around. The copper, we're getting a little low on at least what's in the mountain here. I do believe we'll still be able to dig down quite a ways, at least in this patch. But yeah, I think we're getting to the point where we're going to have to start really looking at other deposits. And I'm looking forward to start building a train line in this direction, which was why I was kind of doing this. But I think for right now, we should just get ourselves over here so that we can start leveling this mountain and, well, at least doing something with that island, because, it looks crazy. Plus, maybe we should really try to get over to here. I don't even want to know how much oil is in that thing, but that's 100 years from now as far as this probably all goes. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. Anyhow, we got the glass set up last time. I did go in between episodes and run a sand belts so that we're no longer trucking the sand around. This was going to use a lot of sand regardless. I mean, even if it's running flat out, you're looking at, what is that, 96 times 3? I should know that number off the top of my head, and I don't. So yeah, it's 288 sand just per with the way that that's going to be now. So that is a direct into one, isn't it? 96 into 120. Huh. I guess I wasn't paying attention to that. That is a 1-for-1. So the sand is 1-for-1. Okay, interesting. I've not yet belted in the salt, although that may happen sooner than later, although that one's not terrible. It's only going to be 36 at any given time. The limestone is one of those things. I think we probably should start seriously thinking about maybe building a train line over here and then have it train in over into this area so that we can then deliver it to the places it needs to go, at least for the most part. It is kind of, I mean, like, it's got to go to here, and we got to go over here, and I got to go, I don't think there's anything over here. I think the only other place left is going to be the glass and the iron. Yeah, and then, yeah, figuring out consolidating slag. That is really something I need to look at doing. I finally consolidated all of these down into a single spot over here. It used to come in on this side. I think, in like really reality, we really need to start bringing it down into a single storage container somewhere, like maybe like just bring it all in right here and dump it down here, and then decide, do we start trading it to one of our neighbors for another commodity that we can then use to do other things? I don't know. That's going to be a later date, later thing, later kind of an idea. Anyhow, what I wanted to do, sorry again for the whatever discussion, I get talky and then I forget what the heck I'm doing most of the time. What we need to do today is we need to concentrate on moving and redoing recycling in a fashion that makes better sense and in a tileable function that should be able to be used reasonably well. I think the idea, again, I haven't built it, I haven't even decided. I don't even want to know. And that's the thing that I'm thinking we probably should actually look at, because when we crank these up, and this is going to be the thing that's going to get us, the labs up until now, I believe, have been our major source of recycling. So if I look in here, yeah, it's the number that goes in is the number that can come out. So optional output is going to be here for, yeah, that again. So whatever goes in, it's going to be the science plus the recyclables. So we'll take whatever we put in and should get that back as recyclables per minute, which means it's the same amount of recyclables, it's the same amount of science that we were putting in. It's just the fact that instead of doing 4 of these labs running 24, we're going to be doing 4 of those labs running 48, which is going to flood a 200 belt of recyclables. So we need to plan for that. We need to plan for that. Heck, we need to plan for running 8 or 6 or 8 of these things. I mean, if you're thinking about it, if we get to that point where the first thing that we do is upgrade to the better assemblies, and then I just upgrade all of the assemblies in place, we will then be able to support 8 labs, which means a 400 belt of these. Yeah. So yeah, we've got to figure out how we're going to run recycling before we get too silly into this. I know I'm trying to get all this done. We're going to hopefully turn this kind of an idea on I'm hoping the next episode, although I'm going to have to probably seriously think about people and food, although they're not complaining and we still have outputs stuffed on a couple of these. So I think we might be able to swing it for a little while. Anyhow, let's look at this idea. I want to at least be able to run, what do we say, 4 of those? How much can these things do by themselves? They're 144 each. So if we did 4 of those, that is 576 scrap per minute that it will then turn into whatever percentage that it would normally do. That is interesting. That means we're going to have to run 2 sets of tubs. Or we're going to have to run 2 lines into those. Okay. So this is why I said it gets kind of fun, and I'm trying to fill it into a spot here. So what I do want for certain is I want the inputs to live probably facing the opposite direction. So flip. And I'm going to say we set them down someplace in the neighborhood of here. Kind of on that line. So if we do this, I don't know if I want to do it this way. Let's see. Click. 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 Now, my question is, there are 2 options in here. We can either do the straight recyclables, or we can compact them and do things a little bit differently. So if I do 144 divided by, what is that, 48? That should be 3. Okay, so a compactor can do what? 72 into 24. So if we're going to be doing, what did we figure? Just barely out of those things. Maybe we should plan for something like, well, I guess I can actually figure that out when we're doing this. This is currently producing, I have no idea. Can we see right now with the base kind of idling how much we're making? With the base idling, we're making about 144. Or, no, wait a minute, I'm looking at the wrong thing. About 120. Go away. So about an average, I would love an average number. I would love a number. Give me a number. I like numbers. Numbers are great. I like trying to read graphs. Graphs are great. Give me a stinking number. I stare at these kinds of things all day at my work. So probably an average of 125 right now, just chilling out. And then if we do turn the... Oh. Well, hang on a second. So that settlement is making about 90, 80, 90. Okay, that's nice to know. Cool, cool, cool. At least that's doable. So 90 probably off of the settlement plus whatever this is going on. So the total production, well, we got, let me just say like here, 92 and a max of 147. So that means that the, really, So that means these aren't making much at all, 55. Why is that recipe not set? You're supposed to be doing that one, buddy. Not that that one's doing much. So 18 plus 18 plus 18, if it needs to run, $54, and then those are just idling depending on how things go. I think we're actually probably using a considerable amount of the maintenance 3. Yeah, so I think we probably need to at least run 4 of those things, and we might need to compact, although compacting I don't think makes much of a difference because it's the same theoretical number. It's just more stuff. Because if you take this right here, max 144, and you plumb that in order to get a single piece, well, in order to get it to run on a pressed recyclable, it's still 144 scrap being turned into 24 pressed recyclables. The thing is it's the same number too, so I'm waiting on something to be produced through, say, 2 of these. So 2 of these here will support this on the press. However, it's the same amount of stuff, except I'm putting a secondary step in place that's going to do more. So I'm honestly wondering why in the heck that's even a thing. But I guess it is what it is. So that's the point. That's what I was trying to say, is that I kind of want to make enough room in here so that if we needed to do, you know, say another 2 more, that we have plenty of room. That was my point. So I think what we do is we start with 4, and then what we're going to do is figure out how in the world to get all of those to hook up nicely so that they actually look decent. I'm not even going to bother storing them. I mean, I know I'm storing them right now, and I was going to say I would store it, and that's my way of understanding whether or not something is broken. What happened to you? What are you trying to do? Seriously? Guys, I don't even understand why that's a thing. How about we do this? We'll just wipe off everything that's on that island for right now, since you guys are too concerned about trying to do stuff. I want to build a causeway from here over to there. We're going to move most of this mountain and build it either right here or over there, and probably start moving this mountain this direction away. So that's the whole entire job of these wonderful trucks and excavators sitting right here, is that their job is to dig a hole over to here and then get it built that direction and then start back this way so we can start removing this mountain because it's in my way. Anyhow, yeah, all right, so I think that's what we're going to go with. Let's see if we can't make this at least work, because right now I think probably what we do then is we deliver one set of this into, say, this first one here, and then once the labs, which I believe are probably going to get laid out somewhere right around in here with all of the science, maybe we should just go ahead and grab those and see about how this works. You come here. You guys are going to go roughly somewhere in line with the back of that. And then the production for the parts that we need is going to be here. And then, what was this? That is this. These we don't need to worry about. This I need to worry about. These should rotate and fit. I say you grab those and scoot them over even more. Why don't you sit right in behind those furnaces? Yeah, I know. We're going to have a problem with things being driven through here, and I may end up just making a couple of bridges. I don't even know why I worry about this right now. It's not like it's a big deal. Anyhow, this to that to this. These we already have down. This. So that's a 1-for-1 go. And then the paper is going to be needed to be made elsewhere. We're going to need paper for a few other things regardless. But then we do something like this. And again, this is all just, again, me. This is how I spreadsheet and sketch kind of stuff. So then that way the scrap can come out of here and it'll be, like I said, a full belt, almost. Well, it should be, like I said, it should be a full 200 belt coming out of there, mixed in with whatever's going to be coming off of here. So we should be running almost a full 450 belt like this one, almost a full, when this thing is running wide the heck open. And I believe these are going to take maintenance 3, so that will crank this one maintenance up a little bit more. We may have to build another one of these. I don't know. So yeah, I think that's what we do. So this is kind of like the building process of how we work on things again. And I was kind of contemplating eventually still taking a lot of the circuit stuff out of that corner and building it down here in a nice large quantity of things. So I say we do 4 of those, and then we figure out how to make them look pretty. Which shouldn't be too hard to do at this point, because we're going to be recycling glass, iron, copper, and gold at this point. I don't rightly know when we would be getting aluminum scrap. Oh. Oh, okay. I wonder how much that would be. Because that's a new thing. That's a new thing. This is new update 3 stuff. I haven't made consumer electronics with aluminum. I believe it used to be steel or something along that line. Okay, so that would be coming off of the scrap for our settlements. Okay, cool. So I do want to at least try to make sure we have all 5 things represented, but I do believe that iron, copper, and glass are going to be the main things. So we do want... I think we're going to stick with the storage 2s somehow. What am I doing? You already have these things designed. Give me this. Flip it. There's not enough room. Alright, well, I'm going to have to sit here and fiddle with this. I don't want to have you guys waste your time while I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this, but that's not going to work. I mean, I guess we have a plenty long enough corridor in here, but that's not going to work because I can't get the sorter to it. And at 600 a cycle, I'm going to need access to both connections. Maybe we don't do it that way. Maybe we double down and do it again. Alright, well, I think, I mean, I just said I wasn't going to do that, but I think we can actually make that work for now. We're going to need to be able to split these off and come down nicely, so I suppose where I should grab it is going to be, let's see, U-shape lift. You're going to come from, no, don't do that, all the way down, and there, I think, that's going to get real close, isn't it? Collision with a pipe. Of course. Okay, well then we'll back it up a little bit just so that we have some room. There. And again, this will be a flat conveyor, regular, no, not flat conveyor. I need a loose conveyor, number 4. We're just going to run number 4, number 3, whatever the heck these things are. And then I'm going to come off of that down the line all the way down for now. At the end of it? Okay. Here to there, here to there, here to there. And what we're going to do is we're going to pause that belt for now. Actually, I should say, yeah, we'll just pause that belt so it doesn't go past it, and then we'll pause these 2 as they work. We do have, I don't have enough people to even run, well, I've got a bunch of people sitting over here in this one, and as soon as we build all those, we're just going to detonate those and get them out of our way. But I do want to kind of do that. I think that will work, and then again, what will happen is we can pull this one down, run it across the line, and if need be, dump it in right here, change how this is all going to work, and then we should be able to make a lot of recyclables, because that's a lot of recyclables. I mean, that's a ton of stuff that we're going to be putting back into the system somehow once we get there. So, sure. How much did I say that was going to be? Yeah, I mean, it's a full belt. I mean, it is kind of what it should be. We could run it up over here and connect it to there, or I'll run it underneath this line. I'm a little concerned, but I guess we'll find out what happens. We still have to build all this. It's just that I think that's what we're going to do with it. I don't know. We'll see. I know I could probably just leave this here, but I'd rather not. Let's go ahead and print that. And then I'll start wiring in lines another direction. No. 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 And unpause it all. So there's going to be a pain in the tail down there because of the fact I put that water line where I did. We'll have to jump that water line. We'll have to rejig this one for sure. That'll have to get jumped over these belts because we're just going to run them. Well, we'll run the iron and the copper and the... Well, I guess they're all going this way. The iron, the copper, and the glass are both going to be coming this direction, which means I'm probably going to have to rejig this belt as well, too. Although you really don't theoretically need the storages once you get to that point. You can just run them directly into the system, which also theoretically means I don't need to put it right here. I can run it in, so I could put the balancer in right here. Although I do kind of like to have a little bit of a storage facility if need be. We'll let them build all those. And I suppose while we're at it, we can bulldoze that one, and this. And you guys can use those parts to get over there and do that. I can turn... Why don't you finish that one first, please? Although we already have one built. I always love it how they'll build like whatever they feel like building. Right to left, up to down, backwards, sideways, who knows? And we're going to need some new friends. New friends. One set. And those guys don't sell us anything. That's nice. How about we do this over here? Okay, cool. Finish up. Well, fine. Since we already had one of them running, we'll just let them populate the whole thing. You can get paused, and you guys can go to work making stuff. And then I'm going to just delete that. Alright, so that should go around, sort where it needs to go. Got a little bit of stuff. They now have new places to dump things from. Okay, that was that one. I need to get that belt line in too. Once we decide how we're going to do the rest of this, like I say, when we do get to massive amounts of power, we may end up shifting the entirety of the way this base works to those arc furnaces. Alright, cool. We're making recycling over here, and as soon as these guys finish cleaning out this belt, this existing one, we can blow this out. You can use that to build parts, and this out, this out, this out, this out, that, and boop, 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 boop. Just get rid of it all. Empty. 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 And empty. Nice. And then they can use that to build all of those. We can just... I think what we'll do then is we will unpause this one. We'll run this unit here to keep these full so we can see it going. This unit here to keep these going. And then now we need to run belt lines to the make sense places. Man, look at the stuff that came off of there. Why don't you guys go ahead and just upgrade that right now? I know that looks kind of ugly, but... So, if we do the thing here, if we say, I want to look at, that's the right button, right? Scrap. So, like, for instance, iron scrap right now, we are producing And I say total consumption, total production. That's what I was afraid of. So regardless, those are going to be at least 200 belts heading back where those need to go. Copper scrap is the other one I'm mostly concerned about, not consumption. So that's 100 belts. So again, we're already over the nice, fancy, the pretty little belts. Sure. I guess what we'll do then is I will do a U-shaped lift, do some silliness with this. They keep driving through for no reason. Oh yeah, that was going to be the pain. That was definitely going to be the pain. We may turn the copper right around and send it across because I think... Yeah, I don't know if I can do that right now. I may have to do... We're going to have to do some finagling for sure. I'm going to have to figure out how I want to get that over there. How in the world were they getting in there? From over here? Huh. Crazy. I mean, this is a very nice wide area. Maybe we should just go ahead and make use of the very nice wide area. Don't worry about it. Just make the lifts hit the edges of it like we're currently doing in a couple of other places, and then just be done with it. I mean, I could easily run a line right here. I just didn't want it sticking out that far into the mess. But if I just do that and this, and then what we do is we rejig the water when we go by here, so I don't really need that water in the way right now. Why don't you go away for right now? Don't forget you got to put it back. It's fine. But if I just grab a U-shaped connecting belt here, so we're looking at already. You know what? Just do it. Do the yellows. It's gonna end up being that bad eventually. Hold shift. I'm gonna have to move that coal line too. That is fantastic. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I was gonna remove that bucket. I was gonna remove that container, but I think no, we just put that right there. To there. Rotate you the other direction and plug in. Now, no more keeping full. Just build. And build. And then we do the same thing here. I just grab that and connect it to there. And build. Come on, fellas. Alright, so then we can fix the water line, because it should be able to just jump over or under. No, I want you to go over. Crap, you're going to go under. I don't want you to go under. I need you to not go under, please. Can I get you to not go under right now? That's not going to... Well, it might work. Let's see. Okay, so you're going to do that. That's fine. How in the world? No. No. Oh, it doesn't like that curve I put in it. Why did it do that direction? Whatever. We'll fix that in a second. Let's get the glass, I suppose, next. Glass can go next, and then what we can do is we can take the copper and probably run it underneath and go this way with it and somehow get through that nightmare of a mess over here. I think I can probably do a little bit more goofing around with that water line. I should move that water line down a little bit, but I think we're okay. Sure. Yeah, so glass next. So you can come off of here. I don't want to be that tall. Down. And I think for now, the glass production... Let's check the numbers on the glass production. Broken glass is currently being produced at around a not much belt, so 40. Yeah, we'll try the basic one for now. I know I'm probably going to have to change that eventually. Hold shift. I don't know, this one I might just drop right into the thing. Like, I might just take it right here. Oh, I love trying to hold shift and do the thing at the same time. I need to go... Is that going to go under? Nicely. So if I back up there... No, one more. There, and then I go right like that. That's 2 spaces. You go away, please, and you get hooked up. There. Oop, nope, not that one. Too far. Flip. Down. Connect. And unpause. And unpause. And we grab this thing. Not that one. I grab that. And we connect you. And we do this to there. Nice. And then unpause that and let them build those. And then we can delete that one. It doesn't need to live there anymore. Because again, I don't think there's going to be that much, currently, that much broken glass going into a lot of this stuff. Though, once we get to playing with some of the other things, like I believe all the broken glass is coming out of here right now. So we'll have to see how that goes. We may have to upgrade that to a little bit faster belt. I mean, I might take it to a 200 as it is right now. Why don't you just do that at least to the next layer? That way stuff gets over there in a hurry. Cool. All right, so the last little thing I want to take care of, obviously, is going to be the copper. And I think copper... Oh, we need to get this fixed. 1 second. Don't forget your water. You don't want to screw up your glass. There, that's what I wanted you to do. Thank you. Something like that. Get fresh built, and you get out of my way. Thank you. That's not terrible. I mean, this could be a little higher, but that's not terrible. I don't mind that. We can still drive regular trucks underneath all of that, so that's cool. Why don't you get that out of the way, too? The only reason why I'm doing those is if they get to a point where you can't... If you have too many, or they're too close, then certain size vehicles can't drive between them. So then you end up with a problem of not being able to get stuff from point A to point B. The copper is going to be... I mean, in reality, all I got to do with copper is just bring it over here and run it down this line, all the way down to that bucket. I think we can probably do that relatively simply, aside from that one little spot right here where the sand is. Although I guess I don't need the thing. It could just come in right here and deliver to that spot. So, sure, let's go. Whoop, careful, don't run too hard. One more thing, and then I think we'll call this one for now. I want a U-shape lift. Trace up, yes. And same deal here. We're going to do a blue. And I'm going to just take you around the corner under... that. There. And then I think we can come up a layer if we chose. All the way down. Hold shift. That is a long line. But I think we're going to go to about right there. And then will you come over here and connect nicely. There. Do I really have to be clear out here with that thing? Wow, there's a ways down. I didn't realize it was that far down. Fine. We have the technology. Just have to use one of these. Okay. You guys unpause all of that. I know that's a massively long belt. That's fine. That's okay. Do not keep this full. We're going to be getting rid of it very shortly. So that should be all the way back over to there. And then again, all I want to do is the same thing here. We're just going to grab one of those. And I'm going to grab a blue belt and connect to about right there. And then to there. And then we do this. And that. And that. And then we can set these to... I'm going to just leave them alone. Well, the gold we need to leave alone. The gold we need to leave set. That can go all the way up. This can go all the way up. That's gold scrap. This is glass scrap. This is copper scrap. This is iron scrap. And then we'll use these with their alarms on them currently right now. Notify if full. Notify if 50% on every one of them. So we know then what we need to do. Oh my, look at all of that copper headed down the line to go be recycled to help us not do things. We were already recycling it all anyway. I mean, there's a whole bunch of recycling on all of these belts as it sits, but at least now the trucks are not hauling stuff all the way the heck down here from where they were. So we can get rid of those storage containers. I think I will probably work on getting this out of here. What I need to do is I need to move this somewhere up in here. The problem is this one is still kind of goofed up in that I don't have a red belt, or excuse me, an orange belt running for both of these two, so that's why I've got it built the way I have it built right now. So it's fine. I'm actually not even going to really play with it. I think I'll leave it alone and just see how it goes. Cool. All right, so we now have the recycling rebuilt the way I want it rebuilt. At least I think we should be good at this point. I am going to... I don't know, I might change a couple of things here as far as just where some of these belts run through. This was mainly because that, well, these are right here because of the fact that those things were originally right there. We can go ahead and fix this pavement section, though. That's nice. Yeah. I don't know what I want to do now. I think we're going to sit there and kind of contemplate how we're going to fit all of these machines in here to make this work. And then when we get to that point... yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a little bit of fun because I think our big issue, well, our big issue now, I think, is we're going to have to start absolutely feeding some people because this is going to require... I wanted to get into offices, but I don't think that's going to happen. Well, not right now anyway. Each one of those is going to require 80 people, which means we need to start really thinking about feeding a bunch of people. So that's 80 times 4. So... that's 320 more people that I have to try to feed off of what we're currently feeding. Granted, again, I have a couple of these farms that are still complaining about their outputs are full, which is fine. But, I don't know. I may do a little bit more goofing around, and we may start into this fairly soon. But I think the object of the game next time is to lay some of this stuff down, see whether or not we can actually make it run. And if we can, cool. If not, then we need to continue to upgrade base and make more food and more people. It still surprises me that I have enough people in this one little section and we still have a bunch of houses that we can upgrade. Actually, I think what I will do in between episodes is pop a few of these, just get them upgraded so that, you know, we can get those full bonuses off of these things. Our numbers are down because of the fact that all of these housing developments are not upgraded all the way. So that's one of those things I can actually work on. But I guess until then, I will see you all guys later. Thank you so much for watching. We're getting ready to do some bunch of stuff. Hopefully getting ready to fire this up. I'm hoping to start building this Next time, it might take a couple of episodes just because of the amount of purple, well, yeah, purple construction parts that are going to go into this. It's probably way more than the 1,500 I have stored right now. So we'll see how that all goes. But I'm going to sketch a little bit in between episodes, try to figure out how I want all this to go, and hopefully next time we'll just be able to push a button. There are a couple of more things we need to build, but I think we're good to go for trying to start science up again. So I'll see you guys all later. Bye.